welcome back to Sudoku Topology with puzzle D5. Oh, we're on the cursed cylinder again, aren't we? The cylinder. Not one of my favorites, I'll be honest, but we'll make it through anyway. Reminder, the cylinder has digits 1 through 5, and there are 3 kinds of boxes. There's the strand boxes, so you can spiral around clockwise, spiral around counterclockwise, and the layer cake regions I actually understand. And now I will say one thing that I like about this grid is that usually the thing that screws me up is I want to sort of mentally say that these 2 digits can't be the same, but they actually can. But at least owing to the Renbon, these can't. So we have that. Also, I feel like I have fallen back in time 5 years because I have a puzzle that is resolved with a single 2-cell thermo, which is, I don't know, that's considered in poor taste these days to do, but that is what we have. So I've mentioned this before, but when you have sort of, only clues that are agnostic to high and low, you can disambiguate them in a few ways, but you need something to do it. And so in this case, this 2-cell thermo is going to be what distinguishes 1 and 5, for example. There are 5 layers to the layer cake for what it is worth. I'm looking at 3s right away because these length 3 thermos are going to need 3s. And so I was at first trying to just count 3s in these particular levels of the layer cake. And now if the 3 of this third Renbon is here, it also needs a 3, then that will sort of do a lot of damage in terms of where 3s could go. But sadly, it could be one of these 2, and that will not help. So let's see. So we can do a little bit of like quasi-coloring at least. Like this cell, if I look at where it goes in row 3 of the layer cake, it can only go in one of those 2 because it can't repeat on the Renbon, and I can sort of follow the spirals around in both directions to see that it's not one of those cells. So one of these 2 cells is yellow. And if I follow it all the way down to the bottom layer, then one of my stripes lands there, one of my stripes lands there, and one of them lands here. So the yellow in the bottom layer is one of the 2. It's either the bulb of the thermo, or it's on the other Renbon. Which is maybe not what I was hoping to see, if I'm going to be completely honest. Okay, so here's an observation. I think this is important. This is the kind of thing I was hoping for. This cell sees the entirety of the other Renbon. And likewise, this cell sees the entirety of the other Renbon. So that's because you can see this one directly across the layer cake, and this one around that swivel, and this one around that swivel. Okay, which means that these digits can't be 3 because we know the other Renbon has a 3. 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, now that means that one of these 2 is 3 and one of these 2 is 3. So that's actually going to go back to this 3 point before. Because now when I look at this Renbon, now this Renbon needs to have a 3, and that 3 is assuredly in one of these 2 cells. Because it needs to have a 3 and it can't go in the row where we already know one of these 2 has a 3. That is an X-wing, if you like. Fancy terminology for things that aren't actually all that terribly fancy, but we have that. Okay, so now that's very interesting that both of these see the entire other Renbon. So of course it would be quite restrictive if this was a 4, because if this were a 4, it would force this to be 1, 2, 3 exactly. So this cell also sees the whole of the Renbon. I know where 3 goes in this layer of the layer cake. This cell also sees the entirety of this Renbon. It only needs to see 1 for me to know that it's not 3. And likewise, that cell sees the entirety of this Renbon, so it's not 3. Okay, which means I know where the 3 is in this layer of the layer cake in the middle, namely that cell is the 3. Okay, now, of course, that doesn't really tell me anything about yellow right away. But it does place the 3 on the squinty one. It sort of looks like someone raising their eyebrow, I guess. Maybe raising your eyebrow is the opposite of squinting? I'm not quite sure. But the Renbon that evokes an eye to me gets its 3 placed because of that swirl, which means yellow actually isn't 3. If you look at it, because now of that. So that's 3 for this Renbon, and that's the 3 for this Renbon. And so this is not yellow, just for the record. So this cell is yellow. And now this cell... Wait, I did that wrong somehow, didn't I? Oh, no, somehow this cell's neither yellow nor 3, is what I'm saying here, if I follow what my notation is saying. And then the yellow ends up over here. Right, it wasn't a pair, is the thing that's happening. Okay, so yeah, so now we've got 3 of the 5 yellows that exist in the puzzle, and we have 4 of the 5 3s that exist in the puzzle, so we should be able to find the last one, hopefully. We'll see if I have screwed this up or not. My record of doing this without screwing them up lately has not been the best. Okay, so I think all of those cells see a 3. I'm hoping that this cell, which is the one I think has to be the last 3 in the puzzle, does not see a 3 anywhere. I have confirmed it does not see a 3 anywhere, I believe, so that's going to be the last 3 for the puzzle. Okay, well, yellow's certainly not 5 because it's in the bulb of a thermo. For whatever that is worth. So we've got that. Okay, so now maybe I should attempt to ask something about, like, where does this digit go? I now know that yellow is, in fact, not on the other thermo. I don't think I knew that before, but yellow is now known not to be on the other thermo. And so presumably that means that this digit is... Oh, okay, so the 2 thermos are completely different. That's the upshot of this. Because I've shown you in a somewhat painful way that yellow is not on the other... I said thermo, I meant Renbon. Yellow is not on the other Renbon because you can see that yellow lives in all the spots. Well, that one's not on the other Renbon either because, well, it's not 3 and it sees that cell and that cell. In fact, this was the one I guess I said was not on the other, or I said that this one saw the entire Renbon to sort of get all of this started. So that means one of the Renbon is low, that is, one of them is 1, 2, 3, and one of them is 4, 5, 6. In the way 4, 5, 6? No. One of them is 3, 4, 5. I think I said out loud that the Renbon have no digits in common. That's not what I meant. I meant to say they have no digits except for 3 in common. But the point is they have 5 different digits on them, and there are only 5 digits in the puzzle. And so therefore, through my muttering incoherence, we've been able to sort of establish what is happening. Okay, so we've got that. Now, at first I wanted to just say, okay, well, obviously the same thing is true. I mean, I guess, yeah. So these are the other 2 digits in the puzzle, I suppose. Yeah, so I guess I get to ask myself, which Renbon does this cell show up on? I don't think I immediately know. Uh, I'm kind of wishing I had colored these both the same color, but maybe that would be horrible too. I think I've probably got some naked singles if I think about this. Yeah, like where is yellow in the second row? Yellow in the second row can't go there or there, and it can't go there or there. I said naked single, and then I found a hidden single, just so that you know. So that yellow is there, and so then the last yellow has to be in this one. It's not there or there. It's not there or there. So yeah, so the last yellow is there. Okay, so this yellow is in fact also on this this other Renbon. I don't think I immediately know that that cell isn't green, but it probably isn't green, but it could be. Stranger things have perhaps happened. So I've got all the yellows, right? There should be 5 yellows. Yes, I have all 5 yellows. Can I place green anywhere? This cell isn't green. I said it probably isn't green. It definitely isn't green because it sees green. And so this is a new color. It's not yellow or green, so I'm going to make it blue. And now remember that every digit shows up at least once on these 2 Renbon. And so we've just said this one, it's not yellow or green or 3, so it doesn't show up on this Renbon. So it has to show up on the other one, and it has to show up exactly there, because this cell sees that cell. Okay, so that tells me that blue shows up on a not extreme Renbon, because this Renbon has both a high digit and a low digit on it. So these are a 2-4 pair is how this has to work. Because this Renbon shares something in common with the Renbon that has 1, 2, 3, and shares something in common with the Renbon that's 3, 4, 5. And again, when I say something, I mean something other than 3. And so the only way that works is if these are 2, 4. So that's 2, 4. This is 1, 5. This is 2, 4. Oops, 2, 4. So this is 1, 5. Because these extreme Renbon, kind of like the Whispers puzzle, if you've been following along for the series, a low Renbon has a 1 or a 5 as its most extreme digit, and a 2 or a 4 is its middle digit. So that means that once I have a 2 or 4, I don't have the other one. Okay, so I suppose in theory I should give this 1, 5 a color. Let's make it... This is the important part, you realize. Orange. We'll make it orange. Okay, so this is not 1 or 5. Because we have... Sorry, not 1 or 5. It is 2 or 4, but it's not... And yellow is 2 or 4, we know. So this is the blue 2, 4. That's not the shade of blue that I went with. They included a very generous smattering of choices of blue that one could go with for coloring purposes, which I appreciate. Okay, so these cells are now a 1-5 pair, and that's going to be pretty helpful. But if I look at this strand here, these are a 1 and a 5. Well, assuredly that's the 5 because it's at the tip of a thermo. That's the 1. Funnily enough, that doesn't actually tell me what's going on with yellow, I don't believe, because because every digit is less than 5. This is a 2 or a 4 because it sees the 1, the 3, and the 5. So this is a 2 or a 4, but it's not the yellow 2, 4. So this is the green 2, 4. Sorry, there's not a green 2, 4. This is the blue 2, 4. I keep thinking I've high-low colored this one. I have not. So this is a 1, I believe. by the row, right? If I actually write 2, 4 in here, it will be more clear. This is a 1. Okay, and so that means that this is a 5, so that's a 4. And so that's a 1, and that's a 2. And we should be able to percolate that through the whole puzzle. 2, let's see, 4, 2, 2. Oops. What did I do? No. Boy, my record has been not great for these, hasn't it? Let's see. So what did I do? Somehow I put a 2 somewhere I wasn't supposed to put a 2 or something? Yeah, when I placed my blues, I somehow placed my blues in such a way that, yeah, I placed my... Was this not actually supposed to be yellow? It sure looks like blue is placed where I had placed the blue. How far do I have to back up? Let's see. Oh yeah, this is already... Oh. Did I do exactly the backwards thing? Yeah, I did exactly the backwards thing. That's what happened. So if you recall, I said this digit is on the opposite renbon of this one. And so what happened is I then said, so it can't be this digit, and then proceeded to color them the same way anyway. The point is, it's not that one, it's that one is the one that's also blue. So that's where I sort of screwed this up, and I'm sure you will have noticed that as I filled this in. So that is the 2, 4, because now these are still a 2, 4 pair, because again, they still contain 1 low and 1 high. And so this isn't a 2, 4, and this is a 1 or a 5. I think got to be orange before. We will not take away its orangeness. Okay, so this is still a 2 or a 4. Okay, so sorry about that. This is a 1 or a 5, and it's the orange 1, 5. This I know is a 2 or a 4. Okay, so this cell sees both 2 4s in some way. It sees that 2, 4 and that 2, 4. It sees 3, and it sees the green 1, 5. So this cell has to be the orange 1, 5. And so that should let me hopefully place the last orange 1, 5, because that cell is at the end of the strand over there. So that's not the orange 1, 5. So this is the penultimate orange 1, 5. And if I can place all but one of the orange 1, 5s, I feel moderately confident in my ability to place the last one, although maybe moderate confidence should not be the takeaway that I get from how this puzzle is going. Let's see, those aren't orange 1, 5, and these aren't orange 1, 5. So on the second layer of the layer cake, that is orange 1, 5. Okay, on the bottom layer of the layer cake, the blue 2, 4 gets placed there. Let's see. By process of elimination, this has to be the green 1, 5, because this layer, or this swirl has both 2 4s and 3 in the orange 1, 5. So this has got to be the green 1, 5. Ooh, Casey will be rooting that this turns out to be the 5. Okay, so blue is there in the second layer, blue 2, 4. And so this is green 1, 5. Okay, and so I'll fill in that in a second, but let me go ahead and finish coloring everything so that we don't make any errors. Okay, this is a green, 1, 5. Okay, so now I think we know where everything is, and so now we have learned that this is a 5, so it is a 5, and that's a 4. Thank you for all of your support, Casey. Let's see, that is a 5, and a 5, and a 5. Oh, I missed a 5. This is the last green, that's a 5. Okay, so the oranges are 1s. So yellows are 4s. And so blues are 2s. Little boo-boo there, but nothing too serious. Very nice. I did say this is not one of my favorite of the grids, but that might be one of my favorite puzzles out of the not my favorite one of the grids. Thanks to everyone for watching. If you're enjoying these, do please give the video a like. It really helps. Please actually do it. I know every YouTuber says it, but I will insist. Before the next video, please give this a like, and get your friends to give 7 random of my videos a like as well. That would be great. All right, but that's all for now. I'll be back tomorrow with another Sudoku Topology.